talk about Chianti. When we speak about Chianti, we speak a large area which in Tuscany, in the provinces of Arezzo, Siena, and Florence. However, when we speak about Chianti Classico, which is not the same thing, we speak about a much smaller area in between of Florence and Siena. The disciplinaries of Chianti making and Chianti Classico making are also very different. Although the same grape is used, the Sangiovese grape, the percentages, the yields per hectare, as well as the winemaking techniques that go into the making of the wine are also very different. The area between Florence and Siena has favorable sun exposure, the perfect soil structure, and an interesting climate that allows Chianti to be one of the leading producers of premium red wines in Tuscany. We have some of the best Chianti Classicos in this area. We can tell the Chianti Classico from the logo on the bottle, the black rooster. This comes from a very well-known legend. Legend claims that there was Florence and Siena were fighting over the dominance of the Chianti territory. They both decided that one night, at the cry of the rooster at dawn, would depart from their respective cities, and the place that they would meet at would be the boundary where they set this territory. Siena decides to pick a white rooster, while Florence picks a black rooster, which cleverly they starve prior to the race, as well as they keep the rooster in a very dark and locked cage. On the day of the race, the Florence allows the rooster to come out of the cage. The rooster crows well before dawn, allowing the Florence knight to get a huge head start over the Siena counterpart. By the time the two knights meet, the Florence knight has already taken over most of the Chianti territory. So this is a little bit about the legend of the black rooster and why the Chianti Classico has this stamp on every bottle. Tuscany is in fact the land of Sangiovese. Sangiovese is a Latin word, sanguis Jovis, which literally means the blood of Jupiter, which describes distinctive color and power of this grape variety. In Chianti, for the Chianti Classico, the pyramid has 3 layers. We have at the bottom the Chianti Classico Annata typology, so it's the Chianti Classico with a vintage. In the middle of this pyramid, we have the Chianti Classico Riserva, and at the top we have the Chianti Classico Gran Selezione. And all of the Chianti actually have minimum 80% requirement of Sangiovese grape. The other red grape varieties that they can use are the local Canaiolo or Colorino, or the international varieties of Merlot and Cabernet Sauvignon. The Chianti Classico has to have a minimum 12% alcohol level, as well as it has to be aged 12 months in oak prior to the release. The Chianti Classico Riserva, as we move up the pyramid, has higher restrictions, and it has to be aged at least 24 months in oak, as well as 3 months in bottle before the release. At the top of this pyramid, we have the Chianti Classico Gran Selezione, which has even higher restriction and grapes that are carefully selected from estate-grown vineyards. It is very important, the grapes that are picked, that are extremely selected. The Gran Selezione has to be aged at least 30 months in oak, and then has to have a maturation of 3 months in bottle before it can be released to the public. All of the Chianti Classico can be well matched with red meats, grilled meats, braised meats. Also, duck is a very nice pairing. But we also have very unusual combinations. For example, with ethnic dishes such as spicy Chinese food, as well as Indian cuisine. We also have lately the pairing between Chianti Classico and Japanese sushi. So this is a variety that can be truly matched with any kind of cuisine and enjoyed any day.